Alright, I had to jump on this before it went out of control. Speedroids are insane now. All the new support they're getting is going to make them rogue at minimum, maybe tier 2. Let's talk about it. So, here's a list I have formulated, and I'll show you all the new cards that I'm playing in here. I'll start with just the new main deck cards. I'll just go over everything. Red-haired Hasty Horse is like a mech knight, but you don't want anything in the column. It summons to a column that has nothing else in it, and if something gets into that column, Red-haired Hasty Horse gets popped. But it's a free level 5 on the field, so that's pretty good. Win is surprisingly the most expensive card in the deck right now. Don't know how expensive the new support is going to be, but for the moment, this is the most expensive. You discard it, and another wind monster to Rhoda for literally like anything. And when I mean anything, it searches Terror Top. That's all you need to know. Royal Baron Plane is whenever a monster is special summoned, you can special summon it, and it reduces some card's attack if that helps. But mainly it's just another level 5 extender. Double Yo-Yo is a normal summon monster reborn. Horse Stilts summons a Speedroid from hand. Party Horn Kid, one of the new cards. What it does is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, also in Horse Stilts, next turn after it's in the graveyard, you banish it and it's a foolish. Party Horn Kid, when it's summoned, you get to look at the top cards of your deck equal to the number of other wind monsters you control, and just add one of those cards to your hand. So you can either dig for more combo extenders, a follow-up for the next turn, or more interruptions in the form of hand traps. It's a really good card. Then we have Terror Top. If you don't know what Terror Top does, well then too bad. Den Daiko Duke, it banishes itself to reborn a Speedroid tuner. Card Turbo is a tuner that summons itself from hand, and when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it in another wind and boost all monsters you control by 800 attack. This is just OTK. It OTKs. 800 attack doesn't seem like a lot, but when you stack it on stuff that can attack twice, it gets really insane. Magic Hand, one of the really good new ones. Well, to be honest, all the new ones that I put in the deck are really good. Magic Hound is a foolish, and once in the graveyard, you can banish it, target Speedroid in graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and then special summon a synchro monster with the same level, but with a different name, as its effects are negated. So, like, for instance, let's say you have Royal Baron Plane in your graveyard. You can use the effect of Magic Hound to bring out a Chanbara, or if you have bring out a Hagoida, or if you have, like, for instance, let's say Party Horn Kid, or, yeah, just Party Horn Kid, or like one of these, you can banish the hand to pull out the puzzle. It's a really strong card, and I think it works really well in the deck. Then we have Talk-Tomborg, specials itself from hand, tributes to summon a tuner from deck, and interestingly enough, its summon tuner from deck is not a hard once per turn. Its special summon is once per turn, but if you normal summon Talk, activate its effect, and then later on special summon a Talk, you can activate its effect again. Interesting. Then I run 3 Ash. Marble Machine, the only relevant effect is its Rhoda. Red-Eyed Dice is now very important in the Speedroid deck with the new support. It modulates levels of anything from 1 to 6. Drone Lock is Drone Lock. Monster Reborn, if you don't know what Speed Recovery is, one of the most broken cards in the game. You thought that Adamant Spirit Monster Reborn was pretty good. This is a Monster Reborn, not once per turn, and during the next turn, after the turn after it was into the graveyard, because if it was, this is actually one of the times where I think this phrasing is good, because if not, it would be too broken. You can banish it to add a Speedroid from your graveyard back to your hand. You can just bring back Terror Top. It's a really good card. And then finally, one of the newer ones, Duplicate. This, you can banish a wind monster, target a card on the field, and bounce it. And if this is in the graveyard, you can decrease, a Speedroid monster's level by 1, and summon this out as a level 1 tuner. So this card, the second effect, sadly, you can only use it once per duel. But still, this is just mostly a free bounce, and then at the start, it's a free extender, and that allows you to go like make Magic Hound like a 1-card combo. So this makes the deck a lot more flexible and gives it another form of interaction. It gives it a main deck out, a good main deck out to Mystic Mine as well. So now the extract puzzle, its main effects don't matter, but during the end phase, if it was sent to the graveyard because it was used for synchro summon, you can just add a Speedroid monster from your graveyard back to your hand. So this is just a way of recurring resources. Rubber Shooter gives you a extra normal summon, but it locks you into summoning synchro monsters. And also, its other effect is the really good one. You banish a synchro monster from your extract. Reveal 2 Speedroids that have those levels, or that those 2 levels equal it. So, for instance, you banish Winged Pegasus at Ignister level 7. You select a level 4 and a level 3, and then one of those randomly gets put to add to your hand. The other one goes to the graveyard. Yes, that is insane. Then we have probably the most broken Speedroid extract card ever, or maybe the most broken one ever. This is pretty insane. So when Synchro Summoning either, you guys search for your spells, your Speedroid spell trap. So right now the only one is Duplicate, but there are going to be more that come out. Or, this is the one, if it was Synchro Summoned using only Speedroids, you can revive the materials. So it's just gain a free body, because usually summon Terratop, use the effect summon Talk some out Red-Eyed Dice, make a Terratop level 2. Use those 2 to go into Cork Blaster, then revive the 2, use Red-Eyed Dice to modulate levels however you want, and then from there you could either go into like go into Winged Pegasus and then go into like Fleur or Crystal Clear Wing, or you could just go straight into just regular Crystal Wing. Cork Blaster is insane. Martial Metal Marcher, I may take it out for like a second Rubber Shooter, because when I've been playing, I haven't used it at all. But it's also a pretty good card. Chinbara is the OTK machine, can make a second attack, and target, and when it's sent to the graveyard, it recycles a banished Speedroid and adds it back to your hand. Which is good, because Red-Eyed Dice, Daiko Duke banishes itself, Magic Hound banishes itself, Party Horn Kid banishes itself, and you can banish them the extra deck 1. So Chumbar is a really good one. Hagosha is once per turn, when you have a tuner, Speedroid tuner, while this guy's in the graveyard, you can revive it. This is one of the main combo pieces, because Marble Machine plus either Card Turbo or Talk is double Crystal Wing, because what you can just do is make 1 Crystal Wing using Hagosha, then Den Daiko Duke bring back a Card Turbo, and then use Hagosha's effect in graveyard, bring it back and make Crystal Wing. Really good card. Stardust Charge Warrior, draws. Winged Pegasus helps go into different things. Either it helps go into a Crystal Wing if you have Red-Eyed Dice access, or helps you go into one of these 2 if you have a level 3 access. So this is another great card. And also it's a spell and trap pop, and when it's in the graveyard, if anything on your field gets destroyed, you can banish it and target opponent's card and shuffle it in deck. It's a really good card. Clearwing is a extra deck negate, and also makes a card's attack 0. So this can come in really handy, either when breaking 3 boards or just setting up. A Clearwing Fast Dragon is always going to be strong, because there are not many non-extra deck decks out there. So it's pretty good. Then, of course, we have a double Crystal Wing, because Crystal Wing is amazing. Kite Drake, if you haven't heard, Kite Drake is one of the other best cards. It can either be like a permanent Dark Ruler no more, or just a board wipe. Either destroy all other cards on the field, or negate all face-up cards your opponent controls. And when it goes to the graveyard by opponent's card effect, or by opponent's card, you get to Rhoda. Kydrake is insane. You always need to have at least one. Sometimes I would suggest playing two, but it's a really strong card. Shen, you know what Shen does. It's like a mini macro. It's pretty good. Then the last two extra deck cards. Clear Crystal Wing. If you don't know what this does, it's a spell and trap negate. And that has two other effects. Mostly when your opponent activates a monster effect, it can gain that monster's attack and then becomes unaffected by opponent's monster effect. So it comes like a little tower, actually a big towers. And then when it dies by opponent's card, it falls into any win monster. So it's another good card. And then Baroness is one of the ones that you will be making a lot in this deck. Omni Negate, on your turn, it's a free pop. And during your standby phase, you can bounce it to summon a monster in your graveyard. Really good. Now I'll just show one replay with this deck, because I think that's really all you need to see. I would suggest you guys test it out. Because this deck is so flexible. It doesn't matter really what you do. Like, this end is nuts, I just have to say. But you'll see. So I'm playing as DDD. Luckily for me, they didn't open that well. But they did open Lancia, which stops my Dendaiko play. So I normal summon the Marble. He instantly Lancias. So I cannot go for the Dendaiko Duke. I still do Hagoda Card Turbo, because this gives me the most graveyard setup. Crystal Wing, set duplicate pass. So you see, this may not seem like a good board, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4 interactions. So he Lightning Storms my Crystal Wing. Upstart Goblin, I Droll here. Then he Foolishes, I Ash, thinking, hey, what else can he really do? Then he sets the Scales, then uses Orthos effect, pop my back row, and then just passes. Now, I top deck a Speed Recovery, but first of all, I Dendaiko Duke, bring back Card Turbo, then Hagoda, make Clearing, Speed Recovery, bring back a Talk to tag out into Dendaiko Duke for even more follow-up, and then I make their levels, bring back the duplicate with its effect into Band Shooter. So also, by the way, this is with just graveyard setup plus with a Monster Reborn. Banshee Wing Pegasus, I hit the right plays. Normal summon the double yo-yo, because also I haven't even used my normal summon this, and Band Shooter gives you second normal summon. Tear Top effect searches a Talk. I forget that I already special summoned a Talk, because reviving it with Speed Recovery acts as that. So I have to actually normal summon the Talk, but still I go into the Red Eye Dice. This is where you get to see some of the new stuff. Bring back the Quark Blaster, Tear Top, bring back this. I can make this into a level 6. I can make those two into Baroness. Pop that. And then here, I could have probably extended even more and done even more shenanigans if I had like puzzle and other things. But I just stopped here. And also, one other misplay. I misplay a lot in this game. If I just used the effect of Card Turbo, this would have been lethal. Because I was off by 1,000 and having everything boost by a bit. Or if I literally just had the Tear Top in defense. So then I misplay again and activate Baroness's like second effect, where it bounces itself back. My opponent gammas. I negate the gamma. This goes back. There I Geki. But if you know anything about Speedroid by now, also he's playing like a going second with Scythe. That's interesting. Duplicate. It doesn't matter. Dendaiko Duke. Bring back the Quark Blaster. Hagosha. Speed Recovery. Add back the double yo-yo. Normal summon the double yo-yo. Bring back the Terror Top. This is with just graveyard setup. This card, this extra draw doesn't mean anything. This shows that, like, even though Speedroids is a going first combo deck, it has the grind game with the power of Hagosha, Dendaiko Duke, Speed Recovery. It can grind games out. So that's Speedroids. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would suggest building them and try to pick up some of the cards before they go absolutely out of price. Insane, crazy nuts. So, you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one.